Hey there, Latin 3. Here we go, the last of the Catullus, and then after this we'll get going on some Caesar. So this is Catullus 84 to Arius. I love this one because it works in two different languages. All right, so the idea is that he's talking about a man who speaks with an affected accent, who deliberately is mispronouncing things to sound smarter. He's putting a Greek letter into things, chi, and so, we would say chi, but the Greeks is more chi, or kai would be even stronger, depending on where in Greece you were from. But he's deliberately mispronouncing words and adding that to them, so it sounds like he has a Greek background, or he's been learned in Greek. It would be like if I kept mispronouncing somebody's name and going, oh, that's because in the royal setting it's like this. Just like, what are you doing? Or like how Yoda refuses after 900 years to change his syntax to make it easier to understand. So in Catullus 84, he's kind of taking that on, which is awesome in Latin. That's cool. You see a whole bunch of words that have a CH in them. That's great. But what's really interesting is that it actually translates over to English as well. Okay, so all of these words end up translating into words where you can actually hear the breathing sound. My dad historically mispronounced things to get called out on it and then explain to you why his pronunciation was right. I hope he never watches this. All right, chapter 84, Catullus 84. It's about Arius. He was saying hadvantages if he ever wanted to say advantages. And Arius said hambush instead of ambush. And then he was hoping that he'd spoken wonderfully when he had said with as much effort as he was able, hambushes. I believe that his mother and his uncle and his maternal grandfather and grandmother had spoken thus. When he was sent into Syria, everyone's ears rested. They kept hearing these same things softer and shorter, and they were not afraid of such words for themselves afterwards, when suddenly a messenger of their horror was brought back to them. The Ionian Sea, since Arius had gone there, was not the Ionian, but the Hionian. Okay, so a little bit of context on that. His mother and his uncle and his maternal grandfather and grandmother had spoken thus. You would speak like that if you had a Greek accent, and therefore you were upper class or something like that. Catullus is pointing out that, in fact, he had former slaves in his family, so there's no reason why they would be talking like that. So that's number one. Number two, what I like is that they kept hearing these things softer and shorter, because the ha, sha is just a harsh sound. And so it's softer in that there's no ha in front of it. And also it's shorter because there's it's just a shorter sound. And then the punchline to the whole thing. So he'd gone to the Ionian Sea. Now you could look this up online. I'll wait. Now, you see where the Ionian Sea is. Now look up the Hionian Sea. Okay, so you see the Hionian Sea is way north. So it's cold. The Ionian Sea is in the Mediterranean, so it's warm. So once he had gone to Syria, as I recall, so once he had gone to Syria, the Ionian Sea became cold because he kept calling it the Hionian Sea. Okay, that's all of Catullus. We're done. Obviously send me your Catullus. I'm hoping that you're sending them to me by this point, like piecemeal instead of all at once, because I'm still slogging through a few Ulysses. But after this, there will be some Caesars, and I will post links to those. I strongly recommend you look at the notes on those and whatnot, and I'm going to get you ready for AP next year. Okay, I'm going to hit the button.